is ATL Day Ones, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
Welcome back to ATL Day Ones. I am Tenitra Batiste here with the legendary Sam Crenshaw. He of sports reporting, anchoring, hosting, play-by-play, color commentary, both locally and nationally, and has decided to stop by ATL Day Ones on a Friday weekend. And we appreciate you, especially on the cray-cray of today, because man, Sam, it has been free agency frenzy from the NBA, but we are all here for it, especially when we here in Atlanta are a part of the frenzy and get some of what was on our Christmas wish list. And of course, that is Dejounte Murray. He was officially introduced to local media today, and he talked about how he's really excited. Number
I'll
five,
put
right?
his up.
Right.
That's his number. He's number
I
five,
like that.
folks. If you're gonna buy that jersey, it's already
That's
out there for you.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, man, those jerseys are about to go through the roof, and I'm sure there is a group over at State Farm Arena that is super excited, maybe more so than
hmm
even Hawks fans and even Hawks front office, and that is the sales team, because this is
Absolutely.
definitely a new look Hawks, and he definitely upgrades the squad. But he's excited as well to be here, as excited as this fan base is to see him. He spoke in the press conference about having spoken to Trae Young over the past couple of weeks and being excited about coming here, saying that it was a mutual departure from for the Spurs and him, of course, after spending his first 6 seasons in the league in San Antonio, but also talked about being excited about being here, thinks that this is a quality franchise on the move, and also said it feels like a brotherhood to him. So very, very excited about being here. But we've said all week long, even before this was made official, that we did not think that the Hawks were done, whether that was going to be another big splash in free agency, which could happen based on some of the moves they're making. But we also thought that there might be some smaller pieces that they might obtain as well. And we are getting virtually breaking news by the minute, Sam, with what the Hawks are out there doing. So the first chip actually fell a little bit earlier today. We know that the Hawks were able to acquire Aaron Holiday from the Suns. That, of course, answers the question of the backup point guard now that DeLon Wright has parted ways with the team. So really a good look for them, because again, we know that Dejounte Murray can certainly play at the 1 or 2, which is great for the Hawks, but certainly with DeLon Wright parting ways and with what we're assuming is the imminent departure of Lou Williams, maybe through retirement, you need to know, or needed to know, who was going to be the person to actually run point and run that second unit, or the bench mob.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that section was so critical the last 2 seasons to this team. The second unit has done so many things. There are times during past last season when the second unit came in and got the team back into games. So very vital to have someone to be a good mix for the guys who are going to be there for Kongwu and for
Mm-hmm.
Bogey to come down there and mesh with those guys and really make up that second unit. So we are looking forward to that. My goodness, Kevin Herter. I don't know if I was there for his first press conference when he arrived and whatnot. So excited about
Same.
being here, and such a fan favorite, so popular.
Mm-hmm.
To have a nickname Red Velvet, and
Yeah.
everybody looks forward to seeing him play. And now he's going to be leaving. We were told that there were going to be some changes. This would not be
Mm-hmm.
the same roster. And it
Right.
wouldn't stand pat. So we knew that some people that we were accustomed to and they kind of grown
Mm-hmm.
attached to may not be, and there
Mm-hmm.
still be more. There may be more because
Yeah.
they're freeing up some cash now
Mm-hmm.
by doing this deal. And if you're doing that, it makes you think maybe some of the people they're getting, maybe 1 or 2 draft pick, may be moving on for the other piece, something down the road. So I think the Hawks really have their
Yeah.
eye on something, but I'm impressed with what
Mm-hmm.
they've done so far, and I think the fan base here has to be pleased that we didn't just be satisfied to
Yeah.
stand pat, and that we got going, and that we got players that
Yeah.
want to be here.
Sure.
I
Sure.
mean, Murray is excited about coming here, and I think that's the
Yeah.
other thing. Over the years, this has always been a town where guys love to play in the off season. They come to hang out, they
Mm-hmm.
like to
Yep.
shop. You see them you see them at Lennox, you see them at all the night spots and whatnot, but they don't want to play
Right.
on the team.
Right.
They've
Yeah.
seen how this city can be when their team is contending. They saw what
Yeah.
happened here last spring and SRO each and every night for the teams.
Hmm.
They want to be a part of that vibe here in Atlanta. The ownership, the
Yeah.
commitment, the facilities that are here for this team, and the infrastructure of players that are here right now, and the possibilities for this team in the East. I think that
Hmm.
attracts that really attracts talent who want to be.
Oh, absolutely, Sam. And I want to talk more about that because you bring up a great point about Herder, but also about what it means to have a superstar, a burgeoning superstar like Murray wanting to come here. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But first, I want to share with you guys as well about a site that you definitely want to check out, and that is arcade1up.com. Now, we have big news. The one, the only NBA Jam is back. So if you're somebody who enjoyed playing that back in the day, well, it is back for you. Arcade One Up, the leader in at-home retro arcade games, is not only bringing the best game ever back, but they've made it bigger than ever with a wait for it, Shaq Edition machine. So if you are someone who likes the Shaq Attack, well, this is for you. There are people who are obsessed with NBA Jam, and look, with everything we've been talking about today, with the NBA's free agency frenzy, you know that all eyes are still on the NBA. So I'm thrilled to tell you guys that you can once again play hoops with NBA legends in this arcade classic. And one of the first sports games ever to feature real and digitized NBA licensed teams, no fouls, no free throws, no quarters required. Compete with friends, family through Wi-Fi leaderboards, making you more connected than ever. So go ahead, pre-order now from arcade1up.com. That's arcade, the number one, up.com for an estimated early September shipping date. So you want to get ahead of the game, go ahead and go to arcade1up.com. And listen, you also have until July 8th, so that's about a week from now, to enter to win NBA Jam Shaq Edition console. How cool is that, Sam? What's not so cool, maybe, and a little bit shocking for us, I will admit, is the departure of Kevin Herter. You said it, Red Velvet, the fan favorite, if you will, Kayvon, Game 7 Kevin, who
Yeah,
literally willed the Hawks out of that Sixers playoff into and vaulted them into the Eastern Conference Finals last year, parts ways with this team. And that was a shocker. We definitely knew some people were on the move, but he may have been at the bottom of the list of players whom we thought the Hawks were going to move. But again, when you are not done making potentially big moves and you have a suitor and a partner like the Kings who are willing to maybe trade you for a Justin Holiday, who at least gives you another small guard and a small forward. So kind of in that Kevin Herter space, maybe not at the level of Kevin Herter, but still in that space. Also gives you a Mo Harkless, somebody who plays at that 3 and 4 position. And to the more important point that you made, gives you some cash opportunities where you literally will have some money to kind of move around, if you will. And you look at a first round pick that the Hawks are also receiving, lottery protected in 2024. All of those little things are the things that give the Hawks the equity and the ability to go back out to the market and maybe get themselves another top tier player so that they can contend in a very competitive East.
absolutely. Yeah, you applaud the front office for the work that they've done, their homework, seeking in a couple of guys who've been vital parts of the success of this team,
Yes.
Kevin Herter and Danilo Gallinari, guys who were very important key factors. Gallo felt, on social
Yeah.
media yesterday, talking about his time here in Atlanta, and so happy he
Mhm.
was able to do it. And I think this feeling's mutual with the fans here. Really
No doubt.
appreciated his effort and what he brought. He brought some experience, some playoff experience to a team of really think how young that team was a couple of years ago, and
Hmm.
getting into the playoffs and part of that playoff run, having a voice, having someone who'd been on that road before was a big key to getting that team to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Where he ends up, we wish him all the best. I mean, he may end up the East Coast, which means we'll probably see
Hmm.
him several times next season. But the fans here will be very kind to him and very appreciative for the effort he gave here in Atlanta. And Kevin Herter,
Yeah.
my goodness, we only get to see him once because he's going to be on the West Coast squad.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that night everybody's going to turn out and give him a great round of applause and a standing ovation for his contribution here.
Oh yeah, that'll probably be the only night if that game is here or when that game comes here that there are actually fans in the stands for the Kings, but really they won't be there for the Kings. If Kev Herter is
Right,
on that squad, you're there for Kev Herter. Please understand.
right.
But yeah, like you said, although it really does pain fans and even the media, because we certainly appreciate it when we have good partners like Gallo and like Kev Herter, who made it really easy back when we could go into the locker rooms pre-pandemic or when they were at the podium post game to really get into the mindset and the understanding of what this team was about. But again, we like the moves that are being made, and we know that it was just officially made today that Landry Fields is now the GM. But boy,
Hmm.
he and Travis Schlenk have been absolutely active in the early parts of his tenure. And again, like you said, Sam, whether that is a long shot like a Kevin Durant, that it's interesting because that's been all the hype these last 24 hours on whether or not the Hawks could even go after him, especially when he's made it clear that he's kind of narrowed it down to just a couple of suitors, if you will. And the Hawks aren't necessarily on that list, but people forget the Hawks were in it several years ago when KD decided to go to the Warriors. They were right there going after him and gunning for him. So all I'm saying is this: even if the Hawks don't get KD, I like the fact that the Hawks are showing just what Tony Ressler said that he was going to task them to do, which is not be mediocre and basically look to get back to the top of the East. Someone else who hasn't been mediocre is an Atlanta native who is making more noise in Wimbledon once again. So we're going to talk about it on the other side and for the culture, because what she's been able to do has been nothing short of remarkable. And Sam Crenshaw has had a sideline view to it from almost day one. We'll talk about it when we get back.